My next destination was a beautiful Tirthan Valley. Google Maps confidently told me it was an 85-kilometre ride that would take just over 4 hours. That was another big lesson I learned riding through the Indian Himalayas. Never trust Google Maps. It says 4 hours, plan for 6 if not more. The roads simply aren't factored into the journey times. You'll enjoy a few kilometres of smooth tarmac, start relaxing and then suddenly find yourself crawling over broken roads, filled with potholes, loose rocks and sharp edges. Speeds often drop to just 10 to 15 kilometres per hour. To make things even more challenging, many sections have sheer drops just inches from the edge of the road. Every corner demands your full attention. On Indian roads, large vehicles like buses, trucks and tractors truly rule the traffic hierarchy, forcing smaller cars and motorbikes to yield. This unwritten rule of size means heavy transport often claims the centre of the road, leaving smaller vehicles to navigate the edges. So riding cautiously is always the best option. My Royal Enfield Bullet is a wonderful motorcycle, but it's also very heavy. Being shorter, I couldn't always get a firm grip on the ground, on steep, muddy climbs. If you stop at the wrong moment or lose traction, the bike can easily begin sliding backwards. That was a completely new challenge for me. The ride took me back through the Alt Tunnel and steady climbing towards Jibhi. The scenery became more spectacular with every kilometre. I also experienced my first proper Himalayan traffic jam. The villages are beautiful, but many of the roads are incredibly narrow. Large vehicles squeeze through tiny streets and everything eventually comes to a standstill. Waiting on a steep, slippery incline with traffic packed around you definitely keeps your concentration levels high. Eventually I arrived near Jibhi and found a wonderful place to stay, the Offbeat Chalet, tucked away in a peaceful little village. The owners couldn't have been more welcoming and their Shakshuka breakfast was to die for. They suggested several local walks and hidden spots that most tourists never see. It was exactly what I needed. The village was quiet, unspoiled and surrounded by forest and mountains. I spent mornings hiking, found peaceful places to practice yoga and simply enjoyed slowing life down for a while. One of the main reasons I'd come to Tirthan Valley was to ride up Jalori Pass. It is considered one of the most demanding mountain roads in Himachal, Pradesh. The gradients are extremely steep, putting enormous strain on your brakes during descent, while the final stretch is narrow, rocky and covered with loose gravel. I knew this would test both my riding ability and my confidence. Partway up the climb, I reached a steep, muddy section where a marshal in a high visibility jacket was trying to stop traffic. I made the decision to keep moving until I reached a flatter piece of road because stopping halfway up such a slippery hill could have caused the bike to slide backwards. As I rounded the next corner, another marshal stopped me. Only then did I realise there had been a rockfall. Smaller rocks were still bouncing across the road, but when I looked above me, I realised something more worrying. I was parked directly beneath much larger rocks. In that moment, I had to make a quick decision. The rocks crossing the road ahead looked relatively small, while the ones directly above me were considerably larger. I chose to ride through the small falling rocks rather than remain in what I believed was the more dangerous position. Thankfully, I made it safely across. Sometimes in the mountains there is no perfect choice, only the safest one you can make in that moment. The final climb to Jalori Pass was unforgettable. Standing at the top, I was rewarded with incredibly panoramic views stretching across the Himalayan ranges in almost every direction. Moments like that make every difficult kilometre worthwhile. The ride back down demanded just as much concentration. Long, steep descents quickly overheat your brakes, so I took my time and enjoyed the journey. Later I visited one of the nearby mountain streams. Anyone who knows me knows I do not enjoy cold water, but eventually I managed to lower myself into the freezing pool. After the hike to Jalori Pass, it was exactly what my tired muscles needed. Tirthan Valley wasn't simply another beautiful destination. It was where I truly began to understand Himalayan riding. The mountains don't care how experienced you think you are. They demand patience, respect and constant attention. And if you give them that respect, they reward you with some of the most breathtaking scenery you'll ever experience.